Tonight at 5, 1 year after a fiery Tesla crash killed 5 people, the family of 2 victims are suing the claims they're making against Tesla.
Plus, amid a massive deficit, Dane County proposes cuts to the sheriff's office. How a new plan could avoid those cuts.
Later, a brutal loss at Lambeau Field and a key player done for the season. Jason Wilde has the report from Lambeau Field, and you're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Thanks for staying with us at 5, everyone. We begin with an update on federal food assistance.
The Trump administration says it will partially provide SNAP benefits after a judge ruled Friday the administration cannot withhold funds. Now, here's what that means for tens of thousands of people in our area who rely on SNAP. In court papers submitted today, the administration says it will not pull funds from other sources of money to provide full SNAP benefits for the month, which would cost about $9 billion. Instead, the USDA has agreed to use about half that amount to pay the benefits, covering 50% of eligible households' current needs. Still, recipients will not see those payments immediately.
And amid the delay in funding, local and state leaders are asking you to donate what you can.
Armand Rahman joins us now with the effort to keep the 64,000 people in Dane County fed amid the ongoing shutdown. Armand?
Eric and Susan, Dane County Executive Melissa Agard says all the county can do right now is launch an emergency food drive, asking county residents to bring food to any Dane County government building, their local food bank, or the Badger Prairie Needs Network food pantry in Verona. It's entirely run by more than 1,000 volunteers. The president of the organization says last week their pantry saw 100% more people than the same time last year. So they expect as we get closer to Thanksgiving, demand will only increase. Meanwhile, state lawmakers say there is no plan to fund food share in the state, the Wisconsin arm of SNAP.
Well, the state government doesn't have the resources to fill in the holes that the federal government is leaving.
We'll measure up again, but it won't be easy. It will require more volunteers. We're already overtaxed. It will require us to potentially expand hours, provide additional services. We're looking into options. But the reality is it will stress us.
At the Badger Prairie Needs Network say right now items needed the most include canned tuna, salmon, and chicken, canned beans, canned fruit, sugar, and flour. And you can find the full list of needed items and how to donate with this story on our website, channel3000.com.
Armand, thank you. In Monona, St. Stephen's Food Pantry is also looking to help. You can donate non-perishables at City Hall, the library, the community center, or at Maywood School. Things like ketchup, mustard, peanut butter, and canned soups are in high demand. St. Stephen's also accepts fresh and frozen items directly from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday. For those in need, food assistance is available by making an appointment.
Now, a check of the forecast. Meteorologist Alex Harrington in studio with whether this milder stretch of weather will stick around. Alex?
It is going to stick around for a little while, but with a catch right behind me here on our graphic. Temperatures 60 on Tuesday, 55 Wednesday, 55 Thursday, 53 on Friday, and then right behind me, look at the blue, 38 on Sunday, 37 on Monday. This is going to be accompanied with a weather system with precipitation for southern Wisconsin. More on that in just a couple moments. Let's take a look at some of those temperatures that we have outside right now while we got the good stuff going on. It's still 54 degrees right now in Madison, 55 in Janesville, 56 in Lone Rock in southwest Wisconsin. Zooming on in here to Dane County, what do we got? A lot of 54s, 55 is a warm spot, 57 in Mount Orab, 57 in Verona, and 55 just off to the east of Madison on the interstate. Waking up tomorrow morning to 36, that's exactly where we should be for this time of year, with highs up right around 60 degrees. But we do have the precipitation in the forecast, tracking showers for Thursday, tracking rain and maybe some snow as we head into the upcoming weekend. When I come back, will that impact the Badger game, that Saturday weather system, and the gusty winds that we're expecting the next couple of days? How strong will those wind gusts be? I'll let you know when I come back in about 10 minutes.
All right, Alex, thank you. Developing now, the family of 2 Wisconsin diabetes advocates is suing Tesla for wrongful death after a fiery crash killed the couple.
There's large flames, and the caller can hear screaming and people yelling to get out.
It was November 1st of last year. 5 people were in a 2016 Model S Tesla on Range Trail near Sunset Drive on Verona's southeast side when they crashed into a tree. The car caught fire. Everyone in that vehicle died. All of the victims were associated with the diabetes advocacy organization Breakthrough T1D. And today, the family of 2 of the victims, Jeff and Michelle Bauer of Crandon, is alleging the company's defective vehicle design trapped the couple inside the burning, powerless car after the crash. Per Tesla's safety manual, if the car has no power, passengers should be able to open the front doors with the manual door release in front of the window switches. The back seat passengers should fold back the edge of the carpet below the rear seats to expose the manual release cable and pull that cable toward the center of the vehicle.
We've reached out to Tesla and have not received a response yet. A statement from the family's lawyer reads in part, quote, Tesla and Elon Musk knew for years that their vehicles are prone to explosive fires after collisions, and their electric door systems trap occupants inside those burning vehicles when power fails. This lawsuit aims to hold Tesla accountable for knowingly designing vehicles that turn survivable crashes into fatal tragedies.
News 3 Now has been keeping you informed about this story since the crash last November. You can find all of our previous coverage at channel3000.com to receive updates as soon as we have them. Download the free Channel 3000 mobile app.
A firefighter is hurt after an early morning fire in Beloit. Crews responded to the fire at a duplex on Bootmaker Drive just after 2 o'clock in the morning. And during their response, one firefighter was hurt when part of the building collapsed. The first responder had since been treated and released from the hospital. The building is a total loss. The Red Cross is helping the people who live there. The cause of the fire remains under investigation, but the city says it appears to have been an accident.
Now to continuing coverage of Dane County's $31 million budget deficit.
In just about an hour, the county board will hear public comment on budget amendments as it looks to cut positions from the sheriff's office to save money. Our Ellie LaLiberte is here now. And Ellie, we understand there's a new proposal out?
Yeah, that's right, Susan. The latest proposal suggests a hiring freeze on 20 sheriff deputies to save roughly $2.3 million. Now, the money saved from freezing those vacant positions would be reallocated to the Health and Human Services Department. Now, one board member tells me that this comes after the sheriff's office did not cut its budget by 4% like other departments were required to, which led to an additional cut for Health and Human Services. Meanwhile, the sheriff argues if he doesn't get the staff he needs, it could mean the roughly $200 million county jail won't open.
We need not only all of the positions that we currently have, but additional positions to effectively run the new jail when it opens in 2027. So if there are positions taken or even positions that are freezed, that will really put in jeopardy our ability to open that new facility.
I think it provides us a path forward where we can take care of our near-term issues in 2026 and keep an eye towards 2027 and look at how can we open the jail, how can we support our community at the same time.
From 2010 to 2025, staff for the Sheriff's Department has increased by roughly 4%. Meanwhile, staff has increased for Health and Human Services by 54%. Now, today's public hearing is the last chance for Dane County residents to put input onto that county budget. The board will meet for its budget deliberations and likely a final vote this upcoming Wednesday.
All right, Ellie, thank you. The DeForest administrator says the village has received official notice of a petition to annex more than 1,000 acres of land in the town of Vienna for a data center. Now, the petition will circulate for 10 to 20 days before it goes to the village, which will then review it. Now, it comes ahead of a meeting tomorrow about a proposed data center at the former General Motors site in Janesville from 5:30 to 7. Now, you can attend a community conversation at the Woodman's Sports and Convention Center to give your feedback.
At the last meeting about the Janesville proposal, people protested. Just days before, people in the town of Vienna expressed their anger over a canceled meeting that was meant to address concerns about the proposed center there. According to the Environmental and Energy Study Institute, data centers generate millions of tons of carbon emissions and have the potential to consume up to 5 million gallons of water per day.
Well, happening tonight, the Badger men's basketball team tips off its 2025-2026 season.
The Badgers are hosting the Campbell Fighting Camels at the Kohl Center, and that's where we find our Jalen Banks live on campus tonight. Jalen?
Susan and Eric, in less than 2 hours now, as you just said, UW men's basketball will be opening up their season against Campbell University and the Fighting Camels. Now, this squad is pretty new. They'll be replacing quite a few senior minutes this season. Just a year ago, just a few names that are no longer with the team. You have John Tonje, Stephen Crow, Max Klesmet, Carter Gilmore, and Kamari McGee. But we do have quite a few staples returning as well, in John Blackwell, Nolan Winter, and Jack Janicki. Along with them, there will be a couple big-time transfers. Austin Aussie Rapp, who transferred to UW this offseason. He had a pretty stellar freshman season at Portland University where he averaged just under 14 points, 6.5 rebounds, and was second in the nation in 3 points made by a freshman, as well as guard Nick Boyd, who transferred from Florida Atlantic University. He averaged just over 13 points as well. Now, coming into the 2025-26 season, Badgers men, they open up the year ranked 24th in the country, which I feel as if, is pretty consistent with UW-Madison being one of the most consistent programs in the entire country. Tonight at 6, our sports director, Andrew Banster, will have a full breakdown as far as what we should expect from this year's Badger men's squad. But for now, reporting live from the Kohl Center, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
Very exciting. Good luck to the Badgers. Jalen, thank you. Just ahead, Camp Randall will continue hosting concerts next summer.
Coming up at 5, we'll tell you what legendary band is set to make a stop right here in Madison, and adding injury to insult. The devastating news on Packers star tight end Tucker Kraft done for the year. Jason Wilde with the Packers update from Green Bay. On Wall Street to start the week, mixed results. The Dow tumbling some 226 points. NASDAQ gains 110. S&P adds a dozen. And we'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Oh, yesterday's Packers home loss to Carolina, that was a tough one to take.
It was painful to watch is what it was. And not just on the scoreboard, but budding star tight end Tucker Kraft now done for the year. Searching for some silver lining, our News 3 Now Packers senior writer Jason Wilde outside the locker room at Lambeau Field.
First, some good news. If you're a Packers fan, when it comes to injuries, you need some right about now. And Matt LaFleur with 3 positive updates about wide receiver Matthew Golden, who suffered a shoulder injury in Sunday's loss to the Panthers, Colby Wooden, their defensive tackle, who also had a shoulder injury, and offensive guard Aaron Banks, who had a stinger in his neck. All 3 of them are considered day-to-day. They're not expected to miss extended time. Unfortunately, of course, the bad news, and that is Tucker Kraft, the Packers star tight end, who is having a breakthrough season this year, is done for the year. He has a torn ACL in his right knee. That was confirmed by an MRI this morning. Matt LaFleur says that while he's disappointed, Tucker Kraft has as positive of an attitude as anyone could have.
He's doing as good as you could ever be doing considering the circumstances. So Tuck's a guy that he's not going to flinch, and that's why we love him. I mean, he's a hell of a player, hell of a teammate, hell of a guy. I'm bummed for him. I'm bummed for us. But it's part of it, and it's got to be that next man up mentality. And unfortunate for him, but now other guys are going to get an opportunity.
How the Packers go about replacing Tucker Kraft when you can't really replace him, we'll have to wait and see. But they don't have a lot of time to figure that out. They face the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles here at Lambeau Field next Monday night. We'll have full coverage of everything Packers leading into that game and of Tucker Kraft's injury on channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for our Packers newsletter, which delivers our coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Jason, thank you. And there's still time to get out to Jay's Bar for tonight's taping of the Wisconsin Huddle. This week's sports director and host Andrew Banstra interviewing Mimi Collier. She's not just the best player on the Badger volleyball team. She's a candidate for National Player of the Year. Taping starts at 7 o'clock.
Looking ahead, a legendary band will be performing at Camp Randall Stadium next summer. AC/DC will make a stop in Madison July 19th. It's part of the band's Power Up Tour. The lineup includes Angus Young on lead guitar, singer Brian Johnson, guitarist Stevie Young, and drummer Matt Logg, and bass player Chris Cheney. Today we heard from Madisonians about what they think of this news to have another major act coming to Camp Randall since the stadium started hosting concerts again.
Very nice to see that Madison is being treated like a major city, getting a major act like this.
Oh, my mom really loves AC/DC. I only know songs through her, but I think she'll be excited, so I'm excited to tell her about that.
Her mom likes
always
the band.
moms with this band.
Tickets go on sale Friday morning at 10 o'clock.
All right, a complete look at your first warn forecast. Chief meteorologist Alex Harrington. Pretty nice out there, Alex, to start the work week. A little breezy, but it was nice to see the sun.
Yes, it was good to see the sun after we had those showery conditions over the parts of southern Wisconsin through a portion of the weekend. Cool temperatures. Nothing cool here in our temperature trend for the next couple of days. and then things change here. 60 for high temperature on Wednesday, 55 Wednesday and Thursday, 53 on Friday, and then we have the plunge as we head into Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday. Plenty more to talk about those few days coming up in just a little bit here in my weathercast. 34 for low temperature in Baraboo tonight. We'll do 36 in Madison and near 40 towards the Wisconsin-Illinois border. That's absolutely where we should be for this time of year, in the 30s to right around 40 degrees. Highs tomorrow, though, are going to be a good 10 degrees above normal. We'll do 60 in Madison, 61 in Lone Rock, 61 in Platteville, 59 to the north and to the west up the interstate in Camp Douglas with sunny skies and a bit of that breeze. And I mentioned earlier in the 4 o'clock newscast, let's talk about some of those breezes that are heading in our direction. There'll be winds out of the south gusting at times tomorrow, upwards of 20 to 25 miles per hour. Look as we go into Wednesday. We'll have a rather dry cold front come through Wednesday afternoon, but our winds are going to be very gusty at times between 30 to 35 miles per hour. So even though we'll have temperatures in the 50s on Wednesday, those wind gusts in the 30s are going to put just a touch of that, more than a touch. It'll put that fall feel in the air for sure. Those winds ease up a little bit as we go into Wednesday night. Then we got to track the weather system on Thursday. As you see here, Thursday night, scattered activity expected in the form of rain. And then we have scattered chances for precipitation Saturday night, and Sunday. But that precipitation could be in the form of a mix of rain and maybe even some wet snowflakes. Just looking at some of the latest weather models, still potential there for some wet snow over the weekend. Here are those showers Thursday night, 10 o'clock. We all stand the chance of getting wet. It comes through very, very quickly. By the time we get to 6 o'clock Friday morning, that's out of here, off to the east. Then all attention for the next weather system as we head into Saturday morning. Going into Saturday afternoon, we got the Badger game. Kickoff at 3:30 p.m. at the stadium. And it's going to be showery with the potential for a couple of wet snowflakes mixing in. That carries on into Sunday. Look at this, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, a mix of rain and wet snow. If we do get any snow, not expecting a big snow at this point in time, but maybe just enough to get the leaves in the grass with a little bit of that slushy snow on the top here. Here's the 10-day forecast. Let's take it full. And that Badger forecast, I'm going to show you here, break that down in just a couple of moments here. So nice weather over the next couple of days, and then not so nice as we go Saturday into Sunday. So let's take a look at that Badger game. 42 to 44, showery, cool, kind of a raw day. Kickoff at 43 with a couple of raindrops. And at the end of the game, we'll still be around 40. Still think things will be in the form of liquid, meaning rain at that time. But yes, some wet snowflakes are not out of the question as we go into Saturday night into Sunday morning. We got the Madison Marathon Sunday morning. So at 6, I want to break down that forecast for those that will be running on Sunday.
And the last outdoor farmers market is this Saturday too. So that's after the cliff too.
Yes,
it's going to be a chilly weekend.
I think they'll get that in. It'll be cool, but I think they'll get that in at least dry at this point.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, Alex.
Alex, thank you.
Still ahead at 5, the government shutdown's impacts are reaching new heights. What staffing shortages could do to your travel plans.
Plus, an historic race for governor in Virginia ends tomorrow. Who's running and how the results could serve as a litmus test for the United States.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
In national news, America's airports are suffering as the government nears a record-breaking shutdown length. The FAA says this past weekend marked the worst for air traffic control staffing shortages since the shutdown started. There were nearly 100 staffing trigger reports at FAA facilities. Those are when controllers change operations to keep the skies safe due to having fewer people working. And that includes rerouting flights and delays. Air traffic controllers are considered essential workers, but they are not paid during the shutdown.
As the shutdown continues, Americans are bracing for rising insurance costs. With open enrollment underway, people are finding out their health insurance costs could be more than double next year. It's due to less financial help as ACA subsidies are set to expire at the end of the year. Democrats have said if Republicans aren't willing to extend those subsidies, they won't come to the table to reopen the government. Last night, President Trump spoke about his view on the issue in his first 60 Minutes interview in 5 years.
Obamacare is terrible, and we can fix it with the Democrats. All they have to do is let the country open, and we'll fix it.
And tomorrow, the shutdown will mark the longest, as Susan said, in U.S. history.
This week, the U.S. Supreme Court will consider whether the president is within his authority to impose tariffs using the International Emergency Economic Power Act. That law allows presidents to set tariffs in a national emergency without congressional approval. President Trump used that authority to impose tariffs as high as 50% on India and Brazil and 145% on China earlier this year. American businesses have paid nearly $90 billion to cover those costs.
And tomorrow, people in Virginia will choose their first woman governor, Democrat Abigail Spanberger, running against Republican Winsome Earl Sears, the state's current lieutenant governor. Over the weekend, former President Barack Obama campaigned for Spanberger. This is just one of a few elections tomorrow that lawmakers and pundits are closely watching to see how the Trump presidency could affect next year's midterms. And we're back. Final check your forecast after a short break.
Tonight, we take you to the courtroom where love is the verdict and joy is justice served.
And AI has become a divisive topic, especially in schools. Tonight, we meet a teacher who found a way to teach students the right way to use the technology. That's ahead on the CBS Evening News.
And later on News 3 Now at 6, after the bye week, the football Badgers gearing up to play the Washington Huskies. We'll hear from head coach Luke Fickell about why he still has some high hopes for the remainder of the season. Again, that's tonight. News 3 Now at 6.
Finally at 5, the Goodman Community Center is asking for everyone's help with its Thanksgiving basket drive. This after the public registration reached capacity faster than ever this year. The annual Thanksgiving basket drive provides the fixings for families to make a full Thanksgiving meal at home. Starting November 15th, you can donate the food and money needed to fill 4,000 Thanksgiving baskets. And one way to help is to set up a food drive yourself. The center has provided grocery lists, posters, and lots of tips to make the food drive successful. Financial donations can always be made online at goodmancenter.org/donate.
And Alex is back. One final check of the forecast.
Yeah, we're going to have kind of two seasons over the next 10 days. A little bit, I would say a bit of spring the next couple days, but tune in at 6. We're going to break down possibilities of some snow at the marathon on Sunday morning.
That time of the year. Thank you, Alex. Thanks for watching, everybody.
The CBS Evening News is next. We're back in 30 minutes.